The Australian Grand Prix has cost Victorian taxpayers $500 million over 9 years. So, is it worth it? Taxpayers have pumped $525 million into the event since 2015. That year, in 2015, the government of the day gave the Grand Prix $61 million. That figure was pretty consistent every year until COVID hit. After that, it jumped to a little over $75 million in 2022 and just over $100 million last year. So what do we get for all that cash? For one thing, we get a very well-attended event. Last year, a record-breaking 444,000 spectators came to the race. Interestingly, 72,000 were from interstate and just over 8,000 were international visitors. For the $100 million the Victorian government gave F1 last year, the economic return was $268 million for the state, according to consultancy firm Ernst & Young. That's because those visitors who came to Victoria, they didn't just spend on the race. They spent money on hotels and accommodation. They spent money on meals and drinks, Ubers and taxis. And perhaps they'll spend money on staying longer and going to other shows. But some economists doubt the maths here. They argue while Ernst & Young measured what was spent on, say, food and accommodation, it didn't count the cost of providing that service. Ernst & Young says it uses the same method used to calculate how other events are run in Australia, and it stands by the data. So getting back to the question, is it worth it? Well, unlike who gets the checkered flag, it's actually a little bit hard to say because it depends on what business you run and if people are buying what you're selling. But what is very clear is the race is here to stay. After being held in Adelaide from 1985 and moving or being poached to Melbourne in 1996, the government is committed and says it is a winner, and it's decided to extend its deal to host the race at Albert Park until the year 2037.